Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Vicki. Well, we're time for the star of our show. I want to welcome today's concentrator, Chip Wilson. He's with the Landscape Resource Group. He's got a passion for life, and I'm sure he's got a passion for landscaping and architecture. So with that, Chip, take it away.
Thank you, Wade. I appreciate it. And thank you, Robert, for all your patience in helping me out to do this today. I'm hoping, here we go. Welcome, execs. It's a fine opportunity because I have high definition. So we're going to have a few reruns today of some stars of the show. And so we're going to start right here. A little background for the folks who are new. I'm from the East Coast, a little town called Quakertown that is just south of Allentown, there where that dot is. Graduated from Penn State. I'm a Nittany Lion, came out to California and been here for well over 37 years. Time is going fast. So the first part of our show today is sponsored by Kahala Travel. In April, I had a milestone birthday. I reached out to Janine Joseph in February to arrange a staycation. She did a concentration a few times ago and highlighted staycations, and that's the first thing that came to my mind with the COVID. So we, in April, this is my sweetheart. This is Karen. She lives up in Spokane. I fly back and forth. I have a house up in Spokane, which I will show you. But Janine set us up in a resort up in Laguna for 5 days in April. And it was spectacular. It was called the Ranch at Laguna. And we had the place to ourselves pretty much the whole time. This is where it is. It's in Aliso Canyon. It's a historic place that got renovated. This is a saltwater pool. This is in the middle of the day. And you can see no one is here. Every evening we had live music, which was the first time in a year since I saw live music. It has a 9-hole golf course, which was just pristine. The garden was, all the landscaping around the place was in full bloom, and it was just fabulous. And I had a birthday at the restaurant. This is my little birthday cake, which is a pineapple upside down cake with fresh made coconut ice cream, which was off the charts. So shout out to Janine and Kahala Travel who arranged the whole event. We walked in to the lobby on the first day of when we registered, and they said, "Happy birthday, Mr. Wilson. We upgraded your room to a suite. I hope you will accept that." And we were there for even an extra day. We had such a very relaxing time. And don't you forget it. This is it. This is the new thing. So, and this is my daughter who is now engaged up in Seattle. This is, it's interesting because they're two high-tech techies, and their format for photography is the old school Polaroid. So this is what we got to celebrate their engagement. And that is their first child in the middle there. That's Marcy. So congratulations to my daughter. And this is the star of our family. This is Stella. This is up in Washington. This is 3 blocks from our home in Washington. This is Duncan Gardens, which is built back in the 1800s and designed by Frederick Law Olmsted, who is the father of landscape architecture. He designed, and his team designed Central Park in New York City, and they also designed, this is called the Manitou Park in Spokane, which is the heart of Spokane. And this is our little cottage up in Washington in Spokane, which I will eventually be camping out for the rest of my life, and maybe even somewhere else too, who knows? It's a work in progress. I have 3 passions. Number 1 is music. So I play mandolin, and that 12-string guitar, it was a present or a gift from my grandfather when I turned 16, and that is still with me to this day. And music feeds my soul, as well as food. Food is a very important part of our life when I was growing up. And that lobster turned into this fabulous meal that my brother sent me Maine lobsters for Valentine's Day. And and we definitely enjoyed that. And gardening. This is my little pocket garden in my little studio in La Mesa. So this is this feeds my body, mind, and soul every morning. And all these little tchotchkes that you see in the garden, those are collected from clients who were going to throw these things out. So I repurposed them and created this in my backyard. So this is what I live with. And this never gets old. My parents brought me up thinking, they always said to me, we don't mind what you do, just make sure you love it, because you're going to be doing it the rest of your life. So, and I do love what I do. And the main thing for my clients and for me is to have fun and to be an enjoyable process. So that's what I live to do. 37 years of experience. You can kind of read everything from Walt Disney Imagineering to master planning to garden design and construction. Landscape architecture, this is services that I provide. I'm going to buzz through this because it's going to go, I have a lot to show you. Multifamily housing projects, I've been doing a lot of that lately in the past year. It's interesting this year, on segue with Joe Virgilio's inspiration, construction has been kind of an interesting little thing that's been happening with the COVID last year. I had a little downturn March and April, but then things started accelerating in the construction industry and developing. And from May on, I've been 24/7 and just cranking. So it really hasn't affected me that much. Being a sole proprietor in my little studio here, it really hasn't impacted me, only when I go out to meet clients, the back patios with face masks on and things. So it's been an interesting year. Garden design for residential. These are all the things that I can offer. Anything outside the house is I can design for you and get it going for you in construction. And then this is during construction. These are the services that I offer to help you and hold your hand during the course of construction. So this is the fun part, when you start building and things start becoming reality. So this is the carrot that we all shoot for when we do construction. I'm the visionary. I come up with the vision and the master plan, create a set of plans, hardscape plan. This is the sections and elevations, highly detailed and specified. Planting plans with lighting. Just to give you an example of some plans. Those are 3 different projects, by the way, so don't get confused of the sizes. So we're going to have a review of Marie's house, which since it's a high definition, I thought I'd give that another go, because they are now in the process of doing the backyard. So I just thought I'd give Marie a little segue for the front yard. Her and her husband Sal allowed me to become an architect. So that was before, and this is what it looks like now. Even more so, the plants are mature and it's looking great. This is a few years old. So there's a shot of the front, and then that's what we have, a nice front outdoor porch and all the new stone veneering to give the house a totally new facelift and contemporary feeling. Little fountain at the end of the yard. Another shot in the front with a fountain. A totally unusable space becomes a nice little sitting little pocket meditation garden. A blah driveway has become a wonderful setting for all the Ferraris that they have. And the new, right up there on the upper left of the house, that's where a new swimming pool, outdoor kitchen is going to go in, and that is under construction as we speak. This is Marie's shout out. I have probably done 3 of Marie's families. Marie has turned me on to 3 of her family members. And this is, I believe it's Marie's grandmother-in-law. Is that correct, Marie? What would that be?
Yeah, so Sal's 90-year-old grandma.
Okay, so her name is Mary and she's a sweetheart. So this is the before shot, and this is what we did. We created an outdoor front yard that's usable for her. And this is up in Point Loma, and she has a beautiful view of the bay. So there's the before shot. We wanted to open up the front porch because the railing is right in front of the window that looks out on the view. When you live up here, the view is you have to take advantage of it. It's an opportunity. So you can see, you'll see in the next shot. So, and being that she's 90, we wanted to make the whole entrance with no steps. So it's all ramped and easy access except for the steps at the porch. And then you can see I opened up the porch. So that railing is away from that picture window. And when that, I believe that's a dining room. So when you're in the dining room, you get the shot of the city, of the downtown. So this is the whole purpose of this front yard build out, is to, I don't know why she doesn't have furniture out there yet. Maybe she hasn't gotten it yet, but the whole idea is to have furniture out there to enjoy the morning sunrises and to see the view. Jim and Linda Fornaca, I'm going to go through this pretty quick, but this is the whole idea here today to show you is I do large projects and all different kinds of scale projects. This was a rather aggressive project that Jim and Linda had me do. So this is the before shot, new driveway, new entry. When you came up to the driveway, you didn't really know which way to go to the house. So I made a new pergola and an entry gate to get to the front door. It's a rather odd orientation for the front. This is the before shot of the entry. Built a nice wall and a brand new garden. A fissure in a rock outcropping has become a nice water feature. There's a close-up of it. And this has mosquito fish and water plants. So this is a natural environment. And I'm sure birds come in there and pick off the fish periodically. Before, after, this is a drought-tolerant garden. It has a few succulents, but you can see that the lavenders and Mediterranean roses are all low watering, and this is all the same environment for the plant material. Unusable slope has become a bird's nest to take advantage of this view. The old barbecue kind of took away the view. The new one opens it up with a new seat wall there. This is right outside the kitchen, so it's a direct access for indoor-outdoor activity. And then who would ever guess a swimming pool could go in this little sliver, but we did it. And a little dynamite to blast some boulders out helped us, but this is all a collaboration between Jim, Linda, and myself to come up with this, this whole outdoor patio and outdoor swimming pool event. Before shot, just a series of stairs coming down becomes a zero-edge spa, and the steps come down to get to the pool. You can see the stairs coming up to, that's the barbecue at the top that is being renovated right now. Another shot of the pool, and then they have an indoor, a little respite to get out of the sun. This is a totally different take. This little piece of land in the middle of the driveway, the client wanted me to create a meditation garden. So there's the first shot, and then this is what it is now. It just recently planted that bowl, the bird bath bowl, we found it on the property and used it as a focal point. And she sits there and watches the sunrise in the morning to meditate. So it goes, I do all different sizes of projects, and all these boulders were hand placed and oriented by me and some other strong gentlemen to create the sculptures for the Zen garden. This is a project right on Nautilus, 3 houses up from the beach, and it's probably less than 500 square feet. And the whole idea here was to create the separation and privacy from all the beachgoers and the surfers who hang out on the streets. So what we did is we created a green wall and a fountain focal point to draw your eye into the garden, new patio paving, and a new fountain feature. This is a stainless steel tank that is recirculating to the water trough above, and it creates the sound to abate the noise of the street, as well as draw your eye into the front focal, into the front of the view from the inside of the house. And there it is at night. Night lighting is very important and creates the whole ambiance for outdoor entertaining during the nighttime. She did not have the fire pit going, so I couldn't get that fired up. But imagine the fire pit with this lighting. So it's just a fabulous little private front yard, no doubt. Backyard was the program for the backyard. You can see again, it was less than 500 square feet. So we wanted an outdoor barbecue, a water feature, and this is what it turned into. So this is a more contemporary feeling, poured in place concrete. It's called a waterfall countertop, a new wood fence as a backdrop. The element to the right is a seat wall and another water feature that here's it at nighttime. They can get a little bit glitzy, but you can see it's a low level lighting, so you're not going to disturb the neighbors. And it has a very nice effect for the dining with the dining table, which is to the right. And then there's a close-up of the water feature. This becomes multifunctional. The bench the seat wall becomes a bench and has lighting, so you can sit by the water feature while your guests are watching you cook your burgers or your steaks or whatever at the barbecue. So it becomes multifunctional as well as compact and convenient, and not to hog up the whole space. Built-in barbecues have a tendency of getting clunky and large, so it's a challenge to keep them streamlined and to fit into small places, but I felt that this was pretty successful. This is right down in La Jolla Shores. This client lives up in the Bay Area. This is their second home, so they come down here from Novato, which is north of San Francisco, and they bought this house and they hired me to renovate the front yard. This is all wasted space. So you can see to the right of the house, to the right of the entrance is a whole set of sliding glass doors that come out into nothing. So what we did is I played architect again, used new veneer, contemporarized it, if that's a word. And then right outside of the sliding glass doors is a whole outdoor seating area with a fire pit. I am currently renovating the landscape of this. These are the new roses that are going in. So I'm meeting with them on Friday to put some more effort into the garden. You can see this is the before shot looking out. You can see off the sliders, this is totally wasted space. And now it's a fire pit and they have a view of the shores, the beach. The reason the walls are so low is because that is a requirement by the city. Down in La Jolla Shores, everybody's watching you, so you have to be compliant to the codes that are necessary for the street yard. So that's why it is the way it is. The backyard was overgrown mess, and then we turned it into a more contemporary outdoor space, fire pit, Buddha sculpture incorporated into the project. And again, I'm redoing the planting. The bummer about this project, the general contractor had a landscape contractor who he never used before, and he took it upon himself to deviate from my plan and planted his own things. And the client came down, it was all completed, and it was a train wreck. So I'm in the middle of doing the whole project almost. So ignore the planting because it's not what I had specified. This is a project in Coronado. This is a historic project. It's not every day you do a Dutch colonial architecture. This is an old, I'm not sure if anybody would know, the Kingston Trios. One of the members of the Kingston Trios owned this house. Wow. My clients, the Stengels, they live in Cincinnati, and this is going to be the house that they retire to. So this is the before shot, obviously, and then this is what it looks like today. This was just taken last week. She is a garden enthusiast, which is always fun to work with because you get to play with all kinds of fun plants and just have a great time. So this is the new front entry. There were some drainage issues, so we took care of that with the new fencing and the new entry stoop. This is before shot when you walked through the gate, and this is what it looks like now. This is a whole garden path that takes you and meanders you through the garden. This is all hummingbird food and butterfly food, as well as a sense, and it's a whole experience to walk through her garden. This is looking the other direction towards the ocean, and this is what it looks like now. And the other direction, so this is another little respite to sit and meditate in the front yard. That's a jacaranda tree. That is the focal tree that is just starting to pop out right now. In the backyard, this is the existing pool that was dilapidated and a little bit dated. they wanted to give it a more contemporary feeling in the back. So this is what we came up with. And when I say we, how I work is a total collaboration with the client. We become a team, and it's a give and take, and it's a whole design process to engage the client to become part of the design process, so they become part of the project, and it empowers the whole project and becomes successful on that realm. Backyard, this is the kitchen door, and you can see what we did. We created a whole outdoor dining experience. This is a fire pit to the right that is in conjunction with the dining. So at nighttime, you can pull those chairs and pull the table over. You have a nice little warming spot. Fire pits are rather easy to do. The only permit you need for a fire pit is the gas line permit. All this other aesthetics that are involved with it or up in the, you don't have to have the city looking down your back to make sure that you're in compliance with any kind of height restrictions or structural issues. Where the kitchen door is, that's where I situated the new barbecue. There is the before shot. The kitchen door is to the right. The niche in the garage, that you can see that's an outdoor shower. I enclosed that to make it more of a private shower. And that's where all the surfboards are, and becomes a very nice little private shower. And you can see the barbecue to the right, that comes right off the kitchen. So now you have a direct connection from the barbecue to the kitchen and to the diner. So the transition in between, this is a gurgle pot, which is a fountain that the water goes below the gravel into a sub basin, and that's where all the mechanical is, and it just recirculates. It's a very efficient way and low maintenance way to have a water feature in your garden. And it already won an award that they just shared with me. So there you go. Coronado is the place to be. Express yourself. When you work with me, again, I just want to encourage people to tell them that it's not about me, it's about you and how you want this garden to be, to fulfill your needs and wants, and to be functional, as well as to last many years to come, and to be easy to take care of. So we work together as a team. I don't take things personally. It's important for me to let you know that this is about you and to create what you have envisioned. This is where the magic happens. This is where I'm sitting right now. This is my little bungalow in La Mesa. I'm old school. I used to have a firm that I had employees do CAD and things like that. I do not do that. I do everything by hand, which I think is an asset. This is the view looking the other way. This is my little garden going out my French doors. And then a few shots of me out in the field. This is what I love to do. This is one client. I'm selecting boulders to the right. That's a contractor that I worked with for 15 years here. He built Jim and Linda Fernaka's project. So that's the man. And I keep him busy. He probably builds, I would say 60% of my residential projects. So that's Tim George. If you want to look him up, he is don't use him because he's in my pocket. I don't want you to call him. And the left is a pine tree that we just planted this morning, and I just pruned it up. That is one of his workers, and I'm working on that little project right now. So that is you can see my mask on, and we're out there having a blast. Leads, you can, architects, engineers, developers, and general contractors, residential and commercial real estate agents, friends and families of Marie. I'm doing 4 projects for Marie's family right now that she turned me on to, and everyone has been a unique experience and a fun experience. And I would have shown you the one project of Sal's brother, or Sal's sister or something, and the conundrum that we're under right now is the supply chain for construction is so slow, and the permit process is so slow that there's a lot of things happening out in construction. It's just taking forever to finish projects. So that's what we're under right now. And I'm licensed in California, Washington, and I just got recently licensed in Idaho as well. So I go back and forth between here and Spokane. I started my first project in Washington, which was my neighbor's house, who their whole front yard got wiped out in January by a 3-foot diameter pine tree that fell in front of their house due to a very voracious windstorm. So I'm in the middle of that right now. So you'll see that probably in the next concentration. And thank you. This is in honor of my father, who, these are dahlias, and this is what he grew. So thank you very much for your attention, and hopefully this is inspiring to get you out into your garden and to enjoy the outdoors, because I can help you do that. And thank you so much, Glenn, for your kind words. I have a few shout outs. Dr. Tom Behrman and I put together a whole master plan for his beach bungalow in Pacific Beach. So he and I are going to be working on creating a contemporary beach bungalow down in PB. Vicki Nickerson, she turned me on to a great client out in Fairbanks Ranch, where it's in process. It's a rather aggressive project. We're redesigning it now to bring the budget down from $500,000 to $250,000, which is rather challenging. Emily Rex turned me on to one of her employees, which I did a small consultation for. Thank you, Emily. Tim Frazier has turned me on to 2 of his employees that I've done 2 projects for, and they turned out to be fabulous as well. Thank you, Tim. The BBB, I'm right now, I've done 3 projects this past year from references and referrals from the BBB, who looked me up and got my number and called me and interviewed with them, and their projects are done. Again, Marie Crivello and Jamie Ogle. Jamie and I are right in the middle of designing and refurbishing Lloyd Pest Control HQ, which is an interesting project. We're creating a defensible landscape to get to deter homeless people from camping out on Jamie's front lawn. So hats off to all you folks who have helped me out in the past, and thank you again. Is there any questions? Feel free to email me or lay them on me now. I'm ready.
Questions? Chip, be sure to check out the chat, because nothing but a stream of praise in there, and just impressive visions and creation of spaces. It's awesome. Questions?
If you have any questions about any projects, feel free to email me. I'd be more than happy to chat with you as far as details or any other kind of information that you'd like to have.